Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So I am going to be negotiating with you on Thomas Partey, who currently plays for Atletico Madrid. Haven't spoken to you guys about Thomas Partey for a while. Also going to be giving you some more news regarding Erling Halland. I've actually been talking with you guys about Erling Halland on a regular basis, and also going to be talking with you a bit more about Ramsey. And later on in the video there will be more topics to delve into. So I'm going to start with the news now regarding Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid. So according to quite a lot of media outlets, Manchester United and Arsenal have expressed their interest in Thomas Partey. Now, according to reports though, Manchester United and also to Arsenal are set to miss out on Thomas Partey. Now, the main explanation for this is because Atletico Madrid are convinced that Thomas Partey will extend his contract with them. At the moment, Thomas Partey is under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023, so he's got around 3 years left on his contract, and he does have around a £45 million release clause. Now, so if he does extend his contract, Thomas Partey, his release clause will be around £92 million, so it will more than double. I think the new contract that Atletico Madrid have offered Thomas Partey is a contract until 2025 and a salary of around £79,000 a week. And I think Thomas Partey is actually not interested in leaving Atletico Madrid. He is only the age of 26, so he is still in his prime, and he is predominantly a holding midfielder. And of course, Manchester United are in search for a holding midfielder. But we've actually been tracking quite a few Atletico Madrid players. Yes, we have, and he has spent the vast majority of his career with Atletico Madrid as Thomas Partey. I think he's made over 150 competitive appearances for them. I think he also had a couple of loan spells. But yeah, it is Man United and Arsenal that have expressed their interest. Mikel Arteta has actually identified Thomas Partey as his number one priority target. But if he was to come to the Premier League, it'd be interesting to see how he would do in the Premier League, because so far he's never played in the Premier League as the player. Do you think if he came to the Premier League he'd be able to replicate what he's done during the years he has been with Atletico Madrid? Do you think his Premier League standard probably would complement our midfield really, really well? But, we've got quite a few good midfielders, like I mentioned on the video I did earlier on today. You've got the likes of Fred, that's recently rejuvenated himself. We paid £50 million for Fred. Fred never really got any opportunities under the Jose Mourinho era. But, this season he's been given his chances under Solsjkaer. He's relished those chances and he's done really, really well as Fred. Very, very good player now is Fred, and I think also too McTominay's done really, really well. Analysing it this season, I think even since he's come back from injury, he's done really, really well, and I think they do make a good midfield partnership, the Fred and McTominay. I've also been very, very impressed with Nemanja Matic's performances recently, because he's recently rejuvenated himself. Don't forget the other week we triggered that 1 year extension on his contract, Matic's. And obviously, Bruno Fernandes, he's also a very, very good midfielder, and he's obviously, making the difference in the team, is Bruno Fernandes. Very instrumental, his decision making is very, very good, and don't forget he won the Premier League Player of the Month for February, did Bruno Fernandes. And as you all know, Manchester United have recruited over 30 odd players in since the Ferguson era, but I've got to make an admission and say Fernandes is the best player that Manchester United have recruited in, and the best player that Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer has recommended in so far. So basically, we're looking for someone to partner up with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. So do you think Thomas Partey would be a great addition to the squad if he was to come in? But obviously, we've got to hope he doesn't sign a new contract, because then obviously he would probably cost more money, would the player? He'd cost around in the £90 million range. But like I mentioned, we've been in for a few Atletico Madrid players. Don't forget the other week, it said Man United had expressed an interest in Thomas Lemar. It also said, that we've been in for Solsjkaer for at least a couple of years. But yeah, Manchester United have got to get a midfielder in, because we're basically looking for an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Now, there is uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future. Manchester United have not yet resolved Paul Pogba's future, but we need to resolve Paul Pogba's future, because since Paul Pogba rejoined Manchester United from Juventus back in 2016, he has had a long-running transfer saga, and I think he's enjoyed a very difficult. Analysing the vast majority of his career since he rejoined, he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time prior to, in that 3 months when Solsjkaer was the interim manager, because we did see the best of Paul Pogba then. And don't forget, he has sustained quite a few injuries during his Manchester United career, especially this season. Due to the couple of injuries he sustained this season, Pogba's only managed 8 appearances for the football club. Now, the good news is, when the season does resume, Paul Pogba is expected to play, and I think Solskjaer is excited about the prospects of Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes playing together in our midfield. They do have similarities in style, but I still think, they will make a good partnership in our midfield with Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. Now, as you all know, Paul Pogba's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. Real Madrid were relentlessly linked with Paul Pogba last summer. But obviously, last summer we quoted out that we wanted around 180 million for Paul Pogba, and obviously Real Madrid were not determined to pay that. So this was the stumbling block of Pogba making his move to Real Madrid last summer. But last summer, Pogba revealed that he wanted to leave the football club. He publicly admitted it, and he said he was seeking for a new challenge. And he's got the same perception now, I do believe. Well, early on in the season, he did tell our teammates that he does want to leave the football club in the summer. Now, if Pogba doesn't go to Real Madrid, and if he leaves Man United, I think, he will make a return back to Turin, because he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, did Paul Pogba. But he is our most expensive signing. We paid £89 million for him. And if we do get rid of him, it's very, very imperative that we get more money than what we paid for him. I think we've quoted out that we want at least £100 million for Paul Pogba. There's obviously been narratives as well. Some narratives have been different to other ones. Some narratives have said, we're confident we can keep him due to the coronavirus pandemic. Plus, we're very sceptical that Real Madrid and Juventus can finalise a deal for him, because a lot of teams are under financial pressure across the world, due to this coronavirus. Plus, businessmen are losing a lot of money. So this coronavirus pandemic, can change a hell of a lot of things. Prime example, affects quite a lot of teams' transfer business. Also, players that are coming to the end of the contracts in the summer as well, don't forget. But we shall see. But, I think it did say the other day we were set to open up negotiations with Paul Pogba over extending his contract at the football club. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's got a year left in his contract with an option of a further year. Probably more than likely Man United will trigger that 1-year extension on his contract and that. But that may still not prevent him, obviously, from leaving the football club. Pogba, of course, he's on around £300,000 a week at the football club, so he's one of the highest paid players, and not only the most expensive signing at the football club. And PSG and Barcelona have also been in for him in the past. Revert back to a couple of weeks ago. Don't forget, Paul Pogba said he was interested in committing his long-term future with the club, and he did want to remain loyal to Manchester United, and he was interested in extending his contract at the club. Then you had Solskjaer coming out after the 5-0 win against Lask, and he reiterated saying that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season. But we shall see. In the appearances he's made in total since he rejoined from Juventus, I think he's made 140 odd appearances in all competitions and scored around 31 goals. And I think, he's won the FA Cup, the Europa League and the League Cup with us as Paul Pogba. Yes, he has. And Ed Woodward, of course, wants to get his future resolved, because he's had quite a few negotiations with his agent, Mini Raiola. His agent, Mini Raiola, has made a lot of public attacks against the football club this year. And, a lot of United fans and Man United in general have been very, very critical of him. Don't forget, his agent said that Pogba's having a complicated time at the club. And, he wants to take a great footballer to Real Madrid. So this is what it had basically said. But I've been very, very critical of Mini Raiola. And obviously he did say anyway, Paul Pogba's likely to leave Manchester United if Man United fail to qualify for the Champions League. Don't forget, Pogba enjoyed a very, very bad relationship with Mourinho. If Mourinho hadn't gone, probably Paul Pogba would have been gone by now anyway. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger, under the Alex Ferguson era. But due to limited appearances, we let him go on a 3 transfer and that. But I wish we'd just end this long-running transfer saga, and we do need to resolve Paul Pogba's future. So, as you all know, I want to give you some news now regarding Aaron Ramsey. I've updated you about this on my last couple of videos I've done, Solsjkaer has made a transfer decision regarding Ramsey, and he would be open for the club to signing Ramsey in the summer transfer window. Now, there's obviously a lot of narratives, saying that there could be a swap deal on between Ramsey and Paul Pogba. Ramsey coming to Manchester United and Paul Pogba making a return back to Juventus. And I think a lot of Manchester United fans overarching view on this, they'd actually like to see Ramsey come in. Obviously, Ramsey's been at Juventus since the summer of 2019, so this is actually his first season with Juventus is Ramsey's. I haven't really watched him much at Juventus. Juventus did, by the way, get him on a free transfer from Arsenal. Obviously, he's on around £400,000 a week at Juventus, and he's got a contract with them until 2023, because when he did sign, he signed a 4-year contract with Juventus. But I think the main explanation why I would be interested in getting him, because we probably believe he'd be a good replacement for Pogba, and plus reflecting on what he did in his 11 years with Arsenal, because he was a long-serving player for Arsenal, was Ramsey. Enjoyed 11 years with them, made 262 appearances in the Premier League and scored 40 goals, and made over 300 appearances in all competitions. If I can recall rightly, didn't he score in 2 of Arsenal's FA Cup finals? I think the one against Hull and the one against Villa. He scored in, did Ramsey. And he is 29 years of age. Arsenal did pay around £5 million in from Cardiff, because that's where he began his career. I think he was in youth football with them for a good 8 years or something like that. And he also had a loan spell with Nottingham Forest. Also, his versatility is very, very good. Is Ramsey. He's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, but you can also play him on both flanks. So do you think he'd do very, very well at Manchester United? It'd be good to come and see him reunite in the Premier League and that. So let me know in the comments below if you would like to see Ramsey come in. Don't forget, there was reports coming out a day or so ago saying that Juventus are willing to offer Man United 50 in the 50 odd or 60 odd million pound range for Pogba. Alright. In the 50 odd or 60 odd million pound range for Paul Pogba. And plus they're willing to offer Paul Dybala or Panjanic, whatever you pronounce his name, as part of a deal and that. But if Pogba leaves, I think his likely destination is a return to Turin. So that's the latest news on him. Now, we'll delve into news now regarding Erling Halland. I've been updating you about Erling Halland on a regular basis. So I've just been reading some recent reports, and he does reportedly say that Real Madrid have expressed an interest in Erling Halland. Real Madrid, I think, have got quite a few players on their agenda, but Real Madrid, did recruit quite a few players last summer, didn't they? Obviously, they got Eden Hazard in. They also got Luka Jovic in. They got Ferland Mendy in. They got Eden Militao in. and I think they got a few other players in, did Real Madrid. So they recruited around 5 or 6 players in last summer, but they're still looking to do more transfer business at Real Madrid, because obviously, they've lost quite a few players in recent years. Obviously, don't forget they lost Ronaldo. Was it in the summer of 2018? They lost Ronaldo after he enjoyed 9 years at Madrid. They lost Daniel Ceballos last summer to Arsenal. They also lost Mateo Kovacic. So they've lost quite a few of their key players of Real Madrid. Now, Erling Haaland, as you all know, he joined Borussia Dortmund back in the January transfer window. Now, obviously, Manchester United, wanted Erling Haaland back in the January transfer window and that. And it was a shame, that we didn't get Erling Haaland on the board, basically, because I said, didn't I, he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer type signing, because when obviously Solskjaer was at Mould, Solskjaer was the one who gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16, and he's now only 19 years of age, is Erling Haaland. So basically Solskjaer was keen on a reunion with the player. Haaland also did very, very well in his short tenure with Red Bull Salzburg. And don't forget, in January, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ed Woodward obviously went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to discuss a possible move to Manchester United. And another thing as well, he was a cheap solution, because he was available for around 16 or 17 million pounds was the player. So it's a shame that we didn't get him on the board. Alfin Haaland, who is currently obviously Erling Haaland's father, he come out and give the main explanations why Manchester United didn't get the pursuit of Erling Haaland, is because he does believe Solskjaer was the only one that really wanted him. We didn't want him enough. Plus, obviously, when we was in for Haaland, there was a lot of uncertainty over Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer's future. This is what, his current father said. There was uncertainty over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future, and obviously, reflecting on our struggles for the vast majority of this season, and plus, obviously, with us not being in Champions League football. But yeah, he went to Dortmund. Don't know how he's done at Dortmund at the moment, haven't really watched him there, but I know he's got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2024. Yes, he has. He got a contract with Dortmund until 2024 as the player. But it's a shame, like I mentioned, that Manchester United didn't get him on the board. And the player, by the way, has got around a 50 million release clause, so Real Madrid will probably have to trigger this £50 million release clause. Don't forget they've expressed an interest in Liverpool's Sadio Mane of Real Madrid. But Real Madrid, anyway, they've purchased so many players from the Premier League since like 2000, haven't they? Obviously, they got likes of Bale from Tottenham, Luka Modric from Tottenham. They did get Ronaldo from us. Did Real Madrid in that. So let's just put that into the equation. So that's basically the latest news on Erling Halland. Now, obviously, Solskjaer has come out and, he's identified, the two key areas where he wants Manchester United to strengthen up. He basically, wants to get a right winger in, and he also wants to recommend a central midfielder in. But of course, Manchester United do need a centre forward. Even though Odion Ighalo's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career, Odion Ighalo has got 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club, also provided a couple of assists. And I've been very, very impressed with him. I've got to make an admission now that Odion Ighalo has confounded his critics wrong, because everyone was saying, he was a panic buy by Manchester United, was Odion Ighalo. But we've got him on loan at the moment. Man United paid around 3 or 4 million to get him on loan, and we're paying like a third of his wages. Now, I think, Solskjaer's obviously, looking to get Odion Ighalo in on a permanent transfer. It's been revealed how much he'll cost us on a permanent transfer. He will cost us around £15 million, will Odion Ighalo, on a permanent transfer. Obviously, it says from Sky Sports the other day that obviously, his parent club, Shanghai Shenhua, they've come in and offered him around 400 grand a week before tax, plus a 2-year contract extension, to try and convince him to turn down a permanent move to Man United. But to be quite honest with you guys, I don't see that happening. I think, he will remain at the football club, will the player. And I think it did say it's likely we'll extend his loan anyway, due to the coronavirus pandemic. We'll extend his loan until June the 30th, because his current loan spell ends on May the 31st, does the players. But I think he's around 30 years of age, is Odion Ighalo, and got to say, he's an option of a different type of centre forward, totally comparison to our other attacking players. But I've got to say, he's a good cover up for Marcus Rashford, is Odion Ighalo. And Rashford's obviously out with a back injury. There has been positivity coming out regarding Marcus Rashford recently. A lot of positivity has been coming out regarding him, because I think it says now he's close to returning from his injury. He has been out with his back injury since that win against Wolves in the FA Cup. And obviously, if Solskjaer hadn't have played him in that game, then obviously, more than likely the injury wouldn't have occurred. But I've been impressed with Marcus Rashford, this season when he was fully fit. I think he's been one of our best players this season when he was fully fit. Rashford's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. He's enjoyed some difficult spells as a Man United player and that, but I do believe a lot of aspects of his game have improved. Solskjaer believes, from his own perception, Rashford's better out wide than he is in that number 9 role, but Rashford is only at the age of 22. And as you all know, we've had quite a lot of strikers on our agenda anyway. Don't really need to reiterate what I said to you on my other videos. likes of Kane's on our agenda. Very sceptical that Man United will sign him. Griezmann's been on our agenda. There was a lot of narratives the other week saying that, Aubameyang was on our agenda. But we've got to get a striker in, because we do need an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. But we've still got a lot of good attacking players, don't get me wrong. Ighalo's done well. Anthony Martial, I've also been very, very impressed with him recently. Anthony Martial, he's recently rejuvenated himself, and analysed his Man United career so far, he has sustained quite a few injuries, especially this season, so that's had a bad effect on him. And he's also endured some difficult spells as a Manchester United player, has been subjected to transfer speculation in the past, but now this is his 5th season at the football club. I think one of the best seasons that Anthony Martial endured at the club was his first season when we recommended him in under Louis van Gaal. And don't forget, Anthony Martial scored in his debut in the 3-1 win against Liverpool. Obviously, Martial predominantly plays out wide on the left, but this season he has been operating in that number 9 role, so he's done well recently. Also too, Mason Greenwood, he's also done very, very well this season. I think it's only his 1st season in the senior squad, Mason Greenwood's, and I hope going on into next season that, he does get more opportunities in the Premier League. He's been given his opportunities, but he seldom starts in the Premier League. He's only started a couple of times in the Premier League this season. But, like the cup games and the Europa League games, etc., etc., he tends to start more, does Mason Green. But you can say he's a backup at the moment. Still inexperienced, isn't he? He can play as a number 9. You can also play him on the right. And how old's Mason Green? Well, now he's 18 or 19 years of age. So he's another good attacking player for us. Daniel James, he's also a decent attacking player. He's Daniel James. Very, very good for us. I don't think he's been at his best in the last couple of months or so. It was good to see him end his goal drought in the 5-0 win against Lass, because that was his first goal for Man United against Lass since the 31st of August. Man United, of course, paid £15 million to him from Swansea last summer. Now, there's aspects of his game that need to improve. You can say his crossing needs to improve, his tracking back needs to improve, but prior to that, nothing much more really needs to improve about Daniel James. No, it doesn't, but Daniel James' versatility is good because you can play him on each flank. You can also play him as an attacking mid, but he tends to do well on the left hand side. That's his preferred position. That's where you see the best of him. But we've played him on the left a few times this season. We've put him on the right. I can't recall us ever put him in. Have we put him as a midfield? I don't know, but we've put him on the left and we've also put him on the right hand side. But definitely Manchester United do need a striker, without a shadow of a doubt. Manchester United need a striker. And obviously, other players that are on our agenda, like I've been keeping up to date with. Obviously, I've been keeping up to date with what's been going on with Jadon Sancho, haven't I? It looks very imminent, he's going to be coming to Manchester United in the summer. I've just been reading recent reports saying, we could still miss out on him to Chelsea. But Sancho did actually, reveal that his preference is a move to Manchester United over Chelsea. This is what, he did reveal, Jadon Sancho. And we know it's going to cost us in the £100 million range anyway to convince Dortmund to offload him. The Borussia Dortmund CEO's come out and said, he will not stand in Jadon Sancho's way if he wants to leave Borussia Dortmund this summer. Because Sky in Germany revealed back last month that Sancho is expected to leave Borussia Dortmund at the end of the season. But quite a few clubs have expressed their interest in the player. But I think, we can get Jadon Sancho on the board in the summer. And again, I think he'll complement our attacking line really, really well. I obviously, give you the news regarding Jack Grealish yesterday. So there's so many players on our agenda. And it is good that Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer is making plans for the summer transfer window. And Solskjaer, has got the backing of Ed Woodward. He's also got the backing of the Glazers. And quite a lot of our players are still determined to back Solskjaer. I think there's quite a few Manchester United fans, that are still sceptical that Solskjaer can be the manager that gets us our next title. I'm very, very sceptical about it, to be quite honest with you. But my own perception is I think Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Manchester United. And if it doesn't work out going on into next season, that's when I would make the decision and then I would get rid of him. And if Solskjaer is to be sacked anyway, it's likely that Mauricio Pochettino will replace. What? I'm coming down in a minute. Alright. About that in a minute. Wait there a second. Wait there. Yep, thanks. Sorry about that, guys. I was just doing something on my FIFA 19. I'm just done. But yeah, it'd be like your Pochettino will be Manchester United's next manager and that. But like you saw my what I did yesterday, because yesterday it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 1 year anniversary as permanent Manchester United manager. And obviously I pinpointed the positives out and the negatives from his tenure so far. And there's a lot of things to credit him for, for the players he's recommended in so far. They've done really, really well. And, Solskjaer spent £220 million at the football club so far. Also, too, I've got to credit him because he has got rid of a lot of the dead wood. Around 9 players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, like I've said to you. Obviously, we've also done very, very well against the Big Six sides this season. I think we've taken around 17 points against the Big Six sides this season. The one thing that stands out so far from Solskjaer's tenure, though, is with his trustworthy in the young players. He's promoted the youth very, very well because he confirmed at the start of this season that, the young players would get given their opportunities and that. So they're the positive, you can definitely, take. And his approach to big games has been very, very good. I think he has showed a lot of tactical flexibility. I've got to be honest with you. But there's some negativity as well. We've had some very, very bad results under Solskjaer. We've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. That's a negative. Also, since he got the job permanently, his record has been disastrous. But there again, his record was disastrous at Cardiff, so that's also a negative. And I think the worst defeat we've endured under the Solskjaer era was the 4-0 defeat to Everton last season. Don't forget, after that game, Solskjaer had come out and made a public apology, which I did credit him for. But there again, we've had some big wins under Solskjaer. 5-0 against Lask, 6-0 against Tranmere. 6-0 against Tranmere, 4-1 against Newcastle, 5-1 against Cardiff. That was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game as Manchester United manager. 4-0 against Chelsea on the opening day of the season, 5-0 against Club Brugge. So we've had some big wins under the Solskjaer era and that. But another positive is that, we're unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and this is our best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. So that's also another positive you can definitely take. And he has seemed to have galvanised the team as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, definitely. And I also got to credit him for as well, I nearly forgot to say, that he has progressed us to the FA Cup quarter-finals. And it's the 6th time in a row we've progressed to the FA Cup quarter-finals in 6 seasons. He's also progressed us to the last 8 of the Europa League. And the Europa League and the FA Cup are 2 ambitions for Manchester United, definitely. So there's a few things, I can definitely credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for. But obviously, last season it was very, very poor. Because towards the back end of last season, we'd lost 5 of our last 9 league games and that. But he does deserve more time at the football club, including the time when he was the interim manager. I think he's been here around 15 months now, and this is his first full season at Manchester United. But look at how much money's been spent at the football club. I think around £700 million has been recruited on players since the Alex Ferguson era in all the managerial eras and that. So a lot of money's been spent at the football club. And don't forget, Solskjaer's inheriting the vast majority of Jose Mourinho's players. There's still players here from the Van Gaal era, a couple. There's still Mattery from the David Moyes era. Vast majority of the players from the Ferguson era have gone, but I think there's still Jones, and there's still Jones and De Gea here from the Alex Ferguson era. But I think, Solskjaer's changed a lot since he replaced Mourinho. He was talking about how he had to overhaul the squad, and he's getting the best out of the likes of Martial, Luke Shaw, Fred and Rashford in that, because obviously, them players had bad disputes with Jose Mourinho, and Jose Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Manchester United, but you know, Mourinho had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players, like I mentioned, and these are the main explanations why it didn't work out under the Jose Mourinho era. Mourinho did win 2 trophies though in his first season at the football club, but he needs another season, does Solskjaer, because it is a transition period, and of course it takes some managers time to settle in. You know, Jurgen Klopp didn't settle in straight away. Liverpool, Ferguson, when we recommended him in, didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. So it does take some managers time, and there hasn't only been problems with the management this season. There's been various issues this season. Problems with the club's ownership, problems with Ed Woodward, problems with the board and everything else. So everyone basically has had to take responsibility. So anyway guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.